Hi everyone, welcome to SRIRAM's IAS. My name is Subrat and today I am going to discuss with you our strategy for the UPSC Civil Service Examination for the year 2027. So we are right now in September and if we take, there are 20 months to prelims. So from September 2025 to May 2027. And if we add on to August 2027, that will be the time for our mains examination. So you can add 4 more months here. So in totality, you have 24 months or 2 years to be very well prepared for your prelims as well as mains. Now it's a 2-year long journey, which means you need a very comprehensive and a well-planned preparation plan. So today I am here to share it with you that can be helpful for every aspirant who is looking to appear in the 2027 Civil Service Examination. Now first of all, I am going to show you this timeline. So right now we are at September 2025 and our prelims will be around May 2027. So that is a 20-month period. And after May, around August or September 2027, you will have your mains examination. That is 4 or 5 months depending on when the mains examination is going to happen. So this is prelims phase and this is mains. Now why I have made this timeline so that I can point out to you that this is going to be a very long journey. And if you are not very well planned, you are going to do a lot of mistakes. What I have done is divided for you this preparation into multiple phases so that you can have a targeted preparation and ultimately you can reach your goal. Now, before if I can divide this preparation into different phases, I would like to point out that what are the different topics and what are the different subjects that you have to cover. After that only, we can divide our preparation into different phases. So if we talk about General Studies, GS, we have core subjects which is polity, history, geography, economics. With that, we have other GS portions too, which are not that big, but they are as important. So here comes the paper 4 in our mains examination, that is ethics. With geography, we also have environment. Then we have science and technology. Then we have governance, internal security, international relations, art and culture, and social issues. This all is our GS portion. Now you all know the GS portion, we also have to cover our optional too. Okay, whatever optional you are going to choose, it depends on you, but that also is part of our preparation. Now after that, you also have to look at essay plus your CSAT and obviously kind of errors. Now I have broken down the syllabus for you. The objective of this breakdown is to make you understand that if you look at your time, that someone says that sir, we have more than enough time. We have 24 months. So it's quite enough time and we will be at ease to prepare for this. But I say that in this 24 months, you have to prepare a lot. There are a lot of GS portions that you have to cover. You have to command your optional. You have to be very good with your essay writing. Yeah, and at the same time, yet being qualifying in nature, CSET needs to be focused on. And obviously, current affairs, which looks like that it's part with every subject, but I would say it is actually a subject in itself. So we can see that we have a mammoth target in front of us, and we have a very dedicated, defined target, or you can say deadline that we have to achieve. So what I have done, I have divided your preparation into different phases so that it can be easy for you to cover all these subjects within the time frame and with expertise and the requisite preparation that is required to crack UPSC. So if we start with that, so I would say your phase 1 of preparation will start from September on. Okay. So let's say this is your phase 1, which should start with September 2025 and should reach to close to 9 months, that is May 2026. This is your first phase of preparation. Many of you are for the first time appearing for any competitive examination of this scale, this dedication, this seriousness, and many of you would be for the first time interacting with a lot of these subjects in quite depth. So I would say that your first phase, that is phase 1, should be focused on the core GS subjects, core general studies subject that includes polity, geography, history, and economics. So in these 9 months, you have to cover in a very comprehensive manner all these 4 subjects. I will also recommend you that in this time period only, you should also focus on your optionals too. Whichever optional you are looking for, you have to decide and you have to start preparing for that. Now, these core GS topics should be covered initially with NCERTs and later on with subject-specific books. For example, if we are talking about polity, we should be focused more on Lakshmikant. About history, specific books, same goes for geography and economics too. Okay. Now, I'm not saying any specific books. There's a very specific reason for that, because from student to student, their preference change. Some people are comfortable with X book, some people are comfortable with Y book. Which book is good for you, I will tell you in the later part. Now, so in these 9 months, you have to cover your optionals. At the same time, you have to carry with your GS portion too. There's a possibility that you might not be able to cover optionals in totality. So I will recommend that you can stretch your optional in the phase 2 too. So this is our phase 1. Keep your preparation in the initial phase very simple, to the point, and try to grasp the conceptual clarity regarding these core GS subjects. Don't worry, I'm going to give you daily, weekly and monthly planner too. Right now, we are just focusing on the phases of our preparation. So this concludes our phase 1. Okay. After that, we are going for our phase 2. So as your phase 1 ended at May, I would say you can start your second phase from June. From June 2026, June, July, August and September. Again, a 4-month phase. In this phase, you are going to cover the remaining part of your GS, that is ethics, environment, and science and technology. And if you have spillover of your optional subject, which might be because that maybe in the initial 1 or 2 months in your phase 1, you have not decided to choose which optionals to go with. So in any condition or in any contingency, you can spill over your optional preparation into phase 2. But at the same time, whenever you are in the phase 2, you have to also maintain some part of revision of what you have covered earlier, parallelly going on with the coverage of ethics, environment, and science and technology. Now moving on to, this is your phase 2. Now coming to phase 3. So as your phase 2 ended in September, your phase 3 will start in October. From October 2026 to November, December, January, and February. Now you are reaching close to your prelims date. In these 4 months, you are going to cover whatever the GS portion is remaining plus the revision of your previous coverage too. So, art and culture, social issues, internal security, international relations, and governance. Plus, obviously, the revision. Now, let me revisit it. So, in first phase, we worked on our conceptual clarity and we covered the basic core GS subjects, that is history, polity, geography and economics. In phase 2, the remaining of the GS portion plus our revision, what we have covered earlier. And in phase 3, obviously the remaining small parts of art and culture, international relations, social issues and so, plus the revision. Now we are very close to prelims and this is where our phase 4 starts. So we ended our phase 3 in February. Now our phase 4 will start from March, April and May. March 2027 to May 2027. Now in this 3 months period, our focus will be totally on revision plus mock test of both GS and CSAT. Okay, I hope this plan is clear up to now to everyone. So dividing our 20 months into 4 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4. Now I told you just to how to break down your preparation of this 20 months. Now I am going to give you a proper timetable, that is daily, weekly and monthly. And with that, I will also tell you how to prepare these different subjects. Now, the timetable. I will never give you a very big monthly or even weekly timetable because my approach is very different and it is a very practical approach too. How? Just look at the board and understand. So I would say every student should have a daily timetable. What do we mean by daily timetable? That whenever you are going to wake up, see, I'm not going to tell you that wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. or whatever the time. It is now up to you when you are going to wake up. Plus, it will also depend on if you are a college going student, your timetable will be different from other aspirants. So it is now up to you at what time you are going to start your day. But whenever you start your day, the first thing that you are going to do is to plan your day. Plan your day. Let's say if you are in phase 1. Phase 1 is the time that for the very first time you are going to read polity, you are going to read geography, history or economics, which means you have to start your journey with the NCERTs. So when you are starting your day in the phase 1, it should be a very practical and realistic plan. That today I am going to cover, let's say, 5 chapters of NCERT class 6th. It has to be reachable, achievable. Why? Because of 2 reasons. First is, if you are going to achieve your daily targets, it will be a big motivation boost for you. Okay? So first, you have to have your daily targets. And second, if you are going to achieve these small targets, trust me, these small steps are gradually going to make you getting bigger leaps forward. Okay? So first, you have to plan your day. Okay? Second is that whatever you are reading, okay, it doesn't matter you start with polity, history, geography or economics. It is up to you. I would recommend you to start with polity. If you are starting with polity, you have to make sure that whatever you read is reflected in your preparation too. What do we mean by that? If you have read a chapter or a topic, you should be able to solve questions from there. Where would you get these questions? Simply, if you are starting your journey with the NCERT, after every chapter of the NCERT, you will find multiple choice questions. Be honest with yourself, complete the chapter and honestly try to solve these MCQs. Okay? So you have to cover topics, solve MCQs. Obviously, in the initial phase, this will be very simple questions. The target of your topic will not be too big. It will be a simpler target. Okay. Now, after that, I would also recommend, many people will advise you that don't start answer writing in the initial phase. You start answer writing after a certain period of time. No. In my personal view, answer writing is not just about knowledge. One of the biggest hurdle of answer writing is your hesitation. You know a lot. Don't think that you don't know. You know a lot of things. You also live. You have a fully functioning brain too. The problem is that you are hesitant to write because of multiple reasons. Maybe you are not able to frame your ideas. You are not able to bring your ideas into words. So our first hurdle is to break the hesitation of answer writing. So my recommendation is very simple. Whatever topic you are taking, suppose you started with polity and you are reading a chapter of polity, when the chapter will end, you will find with MCQs some descriptive questions too. Be very honest with you and try to write these questions. Now, if you remember, we have done this earlier when we were in school. This is not something new that we are doing for the first time. We have done this and we can do it again. The objective is only to break your hesitation, to make sure that whatever you are thinking, you are able to frame it in words, sentences. And trust me, gradually this is going to improve. So I would recommend that you write an answer. Not too many answers, just simply the questions that are asked in NCERT. Now the next part is essential, a daily essential. And this daily essential is newspaper. Okay? Again, my advice here is very simple. You cannot skip newspaper, period. Many of you will have questions and many of you will also face difficulties that, sir, we read newspaper but we are not able to understand it. Sir, we read newspaper but the language is difficult. I told you, you can't directly jump to the 10th floor. You have to start with first stair, then second, then third, and so on. And gradually you will be at the top. What I'm trying to say is start with a simple newspaper. Don't make it complicated. You can simply start with a newspaper in your vernacular language. Suppose you are a Telugu speaker, start with a Telugu newspaper. If you are a Hindi speaker, start with a Hindi newspaper. If you are comfortable with English, not go directly to Indian Express or Hindu, try with Times of India, Hindustan Times. The objective is that you start reading newspaper. Why? Because reading newspaper is not just about UPSC, guys. By reading newspaper, you come to know about what is happening in our country, what is happening in our society. So reading newspaper, as I have told you, is going to bring you closer to understanding the demand of this examination. Plus, a very important thing that we have to remember, that we can't just focus on magazines or a very thick compilation of news. What we have noticed that UPSC has been asking current affairs from previous 2 years. That's why if you are targeting for 2027, you should be very well updated with whatever is happening around the world. Now this is your daily schedule. Now I would like to advise you to add any physical exercise in your daily routine. Now the rationale for including exercise or any physical exercise in your daily routine is very simple. It's not complicated. The concept is so simple that a healthy mind is always in a healthy body. If you are not healthy physically, your mind will not be healthy. Plus guys, this is a very long journey. It's a very excruciating journey. It requires a lot of efforts, a lot of ups and downs. When you go for any physical exercise, your body releases dopamine and other good hormones. When these hormones are released, they help you as a stress buster. They reduces stress, they improve your concentration. So this is your daily routine. Now after this daily routine, you should have a weekly routine too. Now, what should be your weekly routine? It should be obviously the assessment of the past week. You have decided your daily targets. At the end of the week, you have to check, were you able to achieve these targets or not? And according to that, you have to give honest feedback. What is this feedback about? The feedback is about this, that did I took the targets and was I honest with myself or not? Or did I achieve more than I can swallow? Okay? So after that, you can also do course correction. which means that accordingly you have to adjust your strategy. Initially, in the initially few days and in the initial few weeks, your speed will be slower. You won't be able to study 14 hours, 16 hours. Neither I am recommending to study 14 or 16 hours. But the initial phase might be that you will be only be able to cover only newspaper in a day. But slowly this speed should increase, that you should be able to cover newspaper plus a GS plus part of your optional in the first phase of your preparation. With that, you have to solve MCQs plus you have to write short answers so that your hesitation of answer writing is being eliminated. So, weekly feedbacks, assessment and course correction. Then monthly. Again, weekly and monthly are very much same, that you are going to assess your improvement. How are you doing? Are your studying hours moving up? Are you able to comprehend more? Are you up to your target? What about feedback? Feedback means, are you able to solve multiple choice questions? Are you still hesitant to write a small paragraph on the topic that you studied just 1 or 2 years, 2 hours past? And obviously the course correction. Okay? And the last is your phase timetable. Depending on your first phase, second phase, third phase or fourth phase. Okay? Now if we go back to our phases, when you will be at the fourth phase, which is where you are revising and you are solving mock test, this is where you should start practicing your CSET too. Okay? Now, if you are weak in mathematics, aptitude, reasoning, you could add CSET practice in your daily routines too. Okay? So if you are very weak, just add 1 hour in any day of the week as your CSET practice. Now the next thing is, see, this is a 2-year-long journey. This long preparation is going to face a lot of hurdles. For example, the first is to maintain consistency. That will be one of the most difficult target to achieve. I have given you daily, weekly, monthly and phase-wise targets. But would it go smoothly? No. Some days will be good, some days will be bad. Second, it might become boring or non-innovative. Next, you can also face issue of mental health, like getting depressed or demotivated. With that, you can also face issue regarding proper guidance from time to time. For example, you are not able to tackle some certain types of questions, or you are facing difficulty in main answer writing. This needs a help. So for this help, SRIRAM is announcing its 2-year target 2027 batch starting from September 22. where we'll start with our basic NCERT classes, following the coverage of 19 books, and for your journey to be smooth, to be carefree, you will get a one-on-one mentorship. Plus, these sessions will be recorded and you will have access to them, so that even if you are not able to attend the class, or if you have some doubts regarding any topic, you can revisit them. So the class timing will be from 5:30, from 5 to 7:30. Okay? So come join us and let's target UPSC Civil Services for 2027. Thank you.